Have you ever wondered how athletes qualify for the Olympics? Maybe you're a young person, you have a dream to one day become an Olympian, or maybe you're a current athlete looking to qualify this year, or you know someone who's an athlete looking to qualify, and you're wondering, how exactly do they qualify for the Olympics? Well, in today's video, we're going to be talking about just that. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how athletes in track and field can qualify for the British Olympic team. So the next Olympics, which is the 2020 Olympics, have been rescheduled for the 23rd of July to the 8th of August 2021. So maybe you're watching this video before that date, or you're watching it after. Today I'm going to talk about how British athletes can qualify for their Olympic team in athletics. So if you're interested in seeing how athletes in athletics qualify, keep watching. UK Athletics is the national governing body for athletics in the UK. Okay, so they will be the ones who will nominate athletes to the British Olympic team for selection. So British Athletics have their selection policy. They'll select their athlete, and those athletes that they select will be nominated to the Olympic team, British Olympic team, and usually those athletes will be selected for the Olympic team. It's pretty much safe to say that if you've been selected by British Athletics, that you will be part of the British Olympic team. So before we go into the British Athletics selection policy, let's just pull it back a little bit. At the Olympics, there are a set number of athletes that can compete in athletics. There are 48 events in athletics, and at the Olympics there will be a quota of 1,900 athletes and a maximum of 3 athletes per event for each country. So that is what we're looking for. So out of all the athletes in the whole world, in your country, only 3 of you can be selected for every event in athletics, okay? So you can imagine how hard it is to qualify. In every event in athletics, there is a qualification standard. World Athletics has a standard that you have to achieve in your event in order to be selected for the Olympics. In your country, there's a dual process for athletes. No matter where they are, they have to achieve a qualification standard, or they can be invited through the World Athletics ranking system. With that being said, let's talk about the British Athletics selection policy. In the UK, athletes will have 5 rounds in which they can be selected. British Athletics have based their selection policy on athletes they think that will come in the top 8 at the Olympics, athletes that they think can medal, and athletes that they think may be possible medalists at the next Olympics, which is going to be held in Paris in 2024. For most athletes in most events, they will have a chance to qualify at the UK Trials and British Championships, which are being held on the 26th to 27th of June 2021 in Sports City, Manchester. If you come top 2 in your event at the Champs, and you've also achieved a qualification standard in the current qualification period, then you have an automatic qualification. That just leaves that 3rd spot, which will be down to a few other factors. For most events, athletes have to compete in their event if they want to be selected, but for the combined events, 20k road walk, 50k road walk, 10k and marathon, athletes don't have to compete at the Champ, but they will have to wait for a few other rounds. Round 1 of selection is automatic qualification, and all athletes want to get those top 2 places. If you don't manage to get the top 2 places, then it goes to round 2, and this is where it's up to the panel's discretion. The panel includes different members of the British Athletics. It will be up to their consideration as to who they select for that 3rd and final place. So they'll consider things like the world rankings, they'll consider things like the current form, the possibility of medal, they'll consider things like whether they will add to the relay team, they might consider things like their previous championship performances and things like this. Round 3 is where relays will be considered. I mentioned earlier that in each event only 3 athletes can be selected. However, in the relay up to 5 athletes can be selected. But athletes selected for the 100 metres or the 400 metres will count towards the 4x100 or the 4x400 metre relay team already. So really that only leaves 2 extra spaces for the relay team. For athletes looking to qualify for the 4x100 or for the 4x400 and haven't been selected for an individual place in the 100 or the 400, British Athletics will consider current form, the athletes' involvement in the relay programme over the years, and their prior championship performances, and things like this will be considered as well. So after round 3, if there happens to be any more remaining spaces of those 3 places for each event, this is where it goes into round 4 and 5. Now, before we do go and talk about rounds 4 and 5, did you know there's an age requirement to qualify for the Olympics? For most events, athletes will have to be 16 in the year of the Olympics. So for this year, which is 2021, even at the 2020 Olympics, they have to be 16 by the 31st of December 2021. But for the marathon and the 50k road walk, they have to be 20 by the end of the year. And for all 4 events, combined events, the 20k road walk and the 10k, they must be 18 by the end of the year. So there are a few other things athletes have to have or comply by if they want to be part of the British athletics team at the Olympics. They must have a valid British passport, which is valid to at least the end of the year. They have to comply with the anti-doping code. They will have to sign a team member agreement, and they have to agree to and attend the holding camp, which will take place prior to the start of the Olympics. So let's get into rounds 4 and 5 now. So if after the first 3 rounds there are still any spaces left for those 3 selection places for each event, then and only then will it go to round 4 and 5. At round 4 and 5, this is where British Athletics will consider world ranking invite. But if an athlete has been selected by world ranking invitation and they have also got the British Athletic Olympic standard, this is where they can be selected for the team. The British Athletic standard will either be slightly lower or the same as the World Athletic Standards, and so if an athlete gets a world ranking invite and has the standard, then they can be selected for the team. At round 5, if all the other rounds have been passed through and there's still any spaces at that point, that's when future medalists, athletes with potential will be selected at round 5. With all that being said, qualifying for the Olympics isn't actually as complicated as it may have sounded, guys. Essentially what you want to do is start by having a dream, join a club. So if you haven't checked out my previous video where I talk about how to get into athletics, check that video out because that's definitely your starting point. So once you've done that, get yourself a good coach, be disciplined, dedicated, train hard, jump as far as you can, throw as far as you can, run as fast as you can, try and get that Olympic standard and come top 2 at the British Champs, and you will qualify for the Olympics. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel. And if you're enjoying the content I'm making here, guys, please check out my Patreon where you can support me for a small amount monthly, which just allows me to keep creating content like this. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe now and make sure you hit the bell, and I will see you guys next Friday.